Dr. Nakouzi received his medical degree from the La Sapienza University in Rome, Italy, followed by a 3-year fellowship in oncology. He earned his degree in homeopathic medicine from the Homeopatia Universalis School of Homotoxicology that was also in Rome. Dr. Nakouzi completed his U.S. residency in the Yale University Program of Internal Medicine at Bridgeport Hospital, where he served as chief resident. He's a member of the American Medical Association, the American College of Physicians, American Society of Internal Medicine, and the Connecticut State Medical Society. And Dr. Nakouzi has a number of areas of expertise that include cancer, arthritis, and the list just goes on and on and on. I'd like you to do me a favor, please, and welcome Dr. Nakouzi to Albany, Georgia. It's such a pleasure to have you, Dr. Nakouzi. And you're welcome to use the whiteboard. I've tested all of them. And this is the one that they claim works. So we'll see how that goes. Let's make sure. Oh, look at that. It actually does right. Let's make sure we can hear you.
Pronto, pronto. Pronto, pronto. Testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Pronto, 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 pronto. Good.
You can erase anything you want, and you can handle anything you like.
So I lost my little metals that go here. They might flip upward. Okay. I am very happy to be here. It's my pleasure to see people improve their health. That's why we are here. I just want to thank a person in particular who allowed this event to happen. And we will have another event in Albany on Sunday at 6 p.m. We have another event tomorrow at the hospital in Atlanta, Georgia called Atlanta Medical Center.
That's right.
And it will be from 2 to 4:30 p.m. That's a university hospital. And then we are going to have more events throughout the country, and hopefully we can take it also outside the United States to other countries. I have been already an international speaker. I have done other programs in the past in different countries. So this is, for me, this is routine. But what is unusual in this presentation is what we are going to speak about. This has been for the first time to this level, okay? So we're going to speak about cancer. Now, in the little time that I have, of course, I cannot tell you everything about cancer, but I can tell you enough information that will be helpful to you so that you can make a dent toward helping yourself get a better health. What is cancer? Cancer is an abnormality in the body that happens when the balance between the different components of the body is lost. What are these components that we are speaking about? These are the elements of the periodic chart of the elements. Anybody knows what the periodic chart of the elements is?
I've seen it because my son had to learn it.
Exactly. Can you describe what it is?
It had like H2O, a very simple one, and down to the bottom it has a number, a very small number.
Mm-hmm.
On the side, I think, but we had to learn that.
Yes. Essentially, it's a table, vertical and horizontal lines, and it has the different elements that exist in this universe. In the material universe that we live in, it starts with hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, etc., etc. And it goes on and on. What is the last item in this? Is item number 106. They didn't have a name for it, so they put it as number 106. From 100 above, they named the element instead of carbon, nitrogen. They ran out of names. Toward the 80s and the 90s, they were naming them with the name of the scientist who discovered them. Like Einstein, they would say Einsteinum. Fermi, Fermium, the Italian scientist Fermi. But now they ran out of names, so they are calling them 101, 102, and 106. Now, when the elements that compose the body are out of proportion, that can lead to abnormality. Not cancer yet, but some kind of abnormality. If the abnormality is too much, then we are on the road to cancer. So for example, let's make it very simple so everybody can understand. Let's say we have hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. We want one of these, three of this, 5, 10, and 6. If we have this balance, we're in good shape. We're functioning normally. The first change happens, all these normals are correct, all these numbers are correct, except this one we have now 0. Same. This is abnormal, because we have one element that is missing. It's not good. Because if this element is missing, and maybe it's needed to combine with this one, this molecule means the combination of two elements, is not an element, it's two elements. So let's say a man and a woman make a couple. So in the couple there are two elements. So the molecule has two elements in it. Then the hydrogen lithium element in the body is not present. Okay? So that's a problem. But the body still can function 80–90%. But let us go a little bit further in this abnormality. We have none of this, but instead of the lithium, we have only 3 instead of 5. The rest is equal. This is a little bit more abnormal now. Let us say that we keep going, and we have none of this, we have 3 of this, and this 10 drops to 2. We have cancer here. So this is abnormal, this is abnormal, this is mild abnormalities, this is severe abnormality. This is to give you an example how things in the body can start to go out of control. Right? Now, let us speak a little bit about, by the way, the name that has been given to these abnormalities in the DNA. Anybody knows? How many people know what the DNA is? Okay, few people. All right. The DNA is a double filament that run one in one direction and the other in the opposite direction. So if this one filament is coming down here, it's coming down, the other one is going up. One is going up, one is coming down. These two filaments that compose the DNA, they form by looping themselves for many, many times to fit in a small space. It's like having a 1 mile tiny filament, and you keep going around and around to fit it in a small box. That's how the DNA fits in our cells. Okay? How many people here in the audience do not know what a cell is? Raise your hand. You all know what a cell is? You do? Okay, that's good. So I don't have to define it. Okay. All right, now let us speak about the frequencies and the charges. This is an interesting topic because, man, this thing dries out. You have to erase it right away. Okay. Frequency and charge. Very important concept. You probably heard about a wave or a vibration, a wave. So this is a wave. There is a certain frequency, correct? From here, it starts, goes down, and it ends here. Then it starts another cycle. And another cycle. So between this point and this point, it goes one time. So you take 1 kilometer, a mile is about 1.6 kilometers. 1 mile is about 1.6 kilometers. So 1 kilometer, how many times this wave is going in this kilometer will be the frequency. It can go 100 times, 1,000 times, 1 billion times, etc. This point from here to here, which is the height of the wave, is called amplitude. In fact, here we have somewhere an amplifier. Where did you put the amplifier? Oh, here it is. So this is the amplifier, which means it raises the volume of the sound. And the volume is the amplitude. Okay? So amplifier, amplitude. Then we have what is called the phase. What is the phase? You could start the same wave, but instead of starting here, you shift it a little bit. So it becomes like this. Correct? What's the difference between this and this? They are exactly the same, but they have a different phase. Has been pushed. So this in dotted one is the phase. If we want to increase the volume, we go higher. But we have to cross in the same point. This way we maintain the frequency, we have a higher amplitude. If we need to have a frequency increased, then if we had a red one, you see this red one here? It's exactly double the frequency because it crosses twice between this point and this point, whereas the blue one crosses only once. Makes one cycle, the other makes 2 cycles. So the red one has double the frequency. In our body, every single element in the table of the elements or periodic chart has its own frequency. The hydrogen has the hydrogen frequency. The helium has the helium frequency. The beryllium has beryllium frequency. It was created this way. It was meant to be this way. God is a God of order, correct? Everything is in its place. There is no confusion. Once you detect that frequency, you could be 100% sure if this is the frequency of carbon, this is carbon. In a black box, you can detect by frequency. So frequency is very important. And the charge. For example, let us say we have, I can get rid of this. the charge. Let us say we have sodium. It's called Na because in Latin it's natrium. The sodium in Latin is natrium. So they put the first two letters, Na. Sodium, every time you see sodium, you see here a plus. Means it has a positive charge. Na plus. The sodium, by definition, is charged positively. Let's go to the chloride. It's charged negatively. What happened between a positive charge and a negative charge? They attract. The positive needs a negative charge. When they attract, they bind together, and now they are no more one element, they become two elements. This two element is called a salt. Na plus Cl minus. Actually, this is Cl. Because in Latin there is no H. H is in English. Chloride. So Na plus Cl minus is the table salt that we put in the salad. What is the charge of the salt, the table salt? You add the charges. Plus charge, add to it the minus charge, equal what?
Neutral.
Neutral, zero. Because one positive annuls the negative. The way to think about it is you have, here you have 0. You go up one step, you are on the first step. You come down one step. What step you are? You are at step 0. You go up with the sodium, you come down with the chloride. You are back to step 0. Correct? Now, everything in the body, in the human body, has a charge and a frequency. When you put multiple elements together, you form a compound. When you put multiple compounds together, you form a molecule. When you put several molecules together, you form a macro molecule. It means a giant molecule. When you put several giant molecules together, you form a structure. When you put too many structures together, you form an organelle. When you put too many organelles together, you form a cell. When you put too many cells together, you form a tissue. When you put too many tissues together, you form an organ. When you put too many organs together, you form a system. And when you put too many systems together, you form a human being. So the human being is a rather complex. See, we sit here, we laugh, we speak, but we really don't even think about what our intestine is doing now, or our heart, or our lungs. But zillions of reactions are going on in our body. Thanks to our good creator, these things are on autopilot. A person can be completely demented, but his heart is still pumping. Not because he's demented, the heart says, I am waiting until you give me order what to do. Doesn't need any order. It's on autopilot. It's amazing, isn't it? So this is the charge and the frequency. If any problem happens with the charge or the frequency, that's the starting point toward an imbalance. Imbalance continues, becomes abnormality. Abnormality continues, becomes a precancerous state. Precancerous state continues, becomes cancer. Cancer continues, becomes stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, terminal, and it's done. Because the person is not correcting the problem that has started this condition. What is the problem? Is an abnormality in the composition of the elements and their proportion, meaning their percentage, which leads to a problem in the charges, which leads to a problem in the frequencies, which leads to a problem in the electromagnetic field, which leads a problem to the life of the DNA. If the DNA is not doing its job, what is the job of the DNA? The job of the DNA is to reproduce another DNA, so that that this dies, this will take over, make sure that there is propagation of life, and the other one is to produce proteins. What are proteins? Proteins are the workers in our body that do everything that is needed. We need to breathe, we need proteins. We need to digest food, we need proteins. We need to build bones so that we don't get osteoporotic, we need proteins. So this is the chain of events that leads to some abnormal elements in different proportions, abnormal charges, abnormal frequencies, abnormal electromagnetic fields, abnormal DNA. When you have an abnormal DNA, what happens with the son or the daughter DNA becomes also abnormal. What happened with the proteins? Abnormal. So now we have a problem. This is the starting of abnormalities. That's the chain reaction. So if we come here and we give, this will lead to abnormality. Abnormality will become severe enough. Severe enough will become precancerous. Precancerous will become cancer. Cancer will lead to death, if not corrected. So, here we come with the cancer, which is a cancer mass, and we say we need to attack. How do we attack the cancer? We give the chemo, we give the radiation, we give the surgery, and we give some other things that they are doing. But historically, these are the most important. Well, are we doing a favor to the patient if we are destroying that cancer with chemo? Somebody might say, well, if I take care of this, maybe surgically removing it, and also giving chemotherapy and radiation to sterilize any cancer cells, I am doing the patient a favor. Maybe. But there are two problems in this approach, big problems. Number one, what happened with this? Does the chemotherapy change the element problem? Does it change the charges? No, because if you don't change this, this is going to stay the same. All this abnormalities up to here is going to be the same. That's problem number one. So although it appears in the first few months that the patient has done an improvement, because let us say we give this, we wait 3 months, we do a CAT scan, an MRI, a PET scan, we do a bone scan, we do cancer markers, we do blood test, we do a physical examination. All these parameters improve in 3 months. What do we tell the patient? Congratulations. You have done a great job. There is a problem there, because we are just 3 months after. What happened after those 3 months? The sad news is this chain of events is taking place continuously, day and night, day and night, day and night. Nothing has stopped it. It will produce more and more cancer cells. What does the doctor say? We need to go, this was the first round, we need to go on the second round. The problem is, in the first round there is a 70% response. On the second round there is a 30% response. We do the second round, there is a 30% response, shrinkage, but still there. I'm sorry, sir, you responded partially. Cancer continues, we need a third round. Oh, by the way, in this round, to come here, you have to change chemo. If you use the same chemo, there is almost no response. So they change the protocol. Or if they use the same chemo, they use more massive amounts. When we come to this one, it's probably 5 to 10%. And when we say response, we're not saying that everything is cleared, meaning some form of response. Shrinkage is a response. Not that the person has taken care of all the cancer. So it's a term that is misleading. Any response is a response. You improve 5%, that is a response. So response doesn't mean 100% improvement. Now, the approach that we said has two problems. One problem is the cause. This is the cause. Has not been addressed. But there is a second problem that is more subtle. What's the second problem? The second problem is that this chemo itself is foreign to the body. The chemo that they give you or give the patient is not one of the elements of the periodic chart of the elements. It's an unnatural foreign invader. And the body sees it exactly as a UFO, as an unidentified flying object in the body. So it goes against it and attacks it. And now we have another problem. The problem is we have the chemo here that is not supposed to be. What does the chemo do? It has its own charge. It messes up the charges. This is already a patient who is already messed up enough to produce cancer cells on its own. Now we're adding the chemo and we're unbalancing further the charges. We are ruining the frequency further away. He was 4 units, this is normal. Let's say that this is normal. This is N, normal. Here is health. This patient has walked first step to here, abnormality, walked away to a severe abnormality, and walked away here to become cancer. When you add the chemo, this is what you're doing. You're pushing him further away to a more malignant form of cancer. The problem is this more malignant form of cancer is not going to appear the day you give the chemo. It's going to appear in the 18 months following the chemo. So you are mortgaging the health of the individual in the name of a today improvement or in these 3 months improvement. It's not a good approach, is it? So two problems are happening with what we call the conventional approach. One is you are not addressing the cause, so the problem continues. And two, you are tipping the patient further away from normal. And now the cancer is even worse. For what? For a very brief period of 3 months, showing an improvement on CAT scan, MRI. So what is a good approach? If you want to do chemo, radiation, and surgery, it's your decision. I'm not here to tell you what you should do or not do. It's not my decision. Your body is yours. You have to take care of it. But the issue is, when you take care of your body and make a decision, how does the mind make a decision? By having the right input and the right information. If you do not have the right information, your decision might not be the best decision. Might be a decision based on partial ignorance. Ignorance of the facts could lead to a bad decision. That's why when this happens and you want to do chemo, it's up to you. But the good approach would be, Doc, what can we do to take care of this? If we can correct this here, the charges will correct. How do you know that the charges have corrected? You measure what they call the pH. pH. The pH is a measure of the charges that are positive and negative in the body, especially the hydrogen, which are positive ions. What does ions mean? Ions mean an element of the table or the chart of the elements, but with a charge on it. It could be a positive charge or it could be a negative charge. So the ion is just a charged element. The hydrogen ion is H+. And then you have the hydroxyl. Hydroxyl. Hyd is the hydrogen, oxyl is the oxygen. Hydroxyl, OH, is negative. By the way, if you combine this plus this, what does it give you? Anybody? Sorry? H2O, water. Exactly. What a marvelous thing that is in nature, that water is the most important molecule in the universe. The splitting of water in H+ and OH- is what determines, these two determines the pH. If you have a lot of H+, you are sick, you are acidic, your minerals are being lost in the bones, you develop osteopenia, and when it is severe, is osteoporosis. We are created to have more of the OH- in our body than the H+. Our pH should be about 7.4, but is acceptable to be between 7.35 to 7.45, with an ideal of 7.4. If we sit on that 7.4, we are normal. Now, a good question is this. Can a person have a pH of 7.4 and still have a cancer? The answer is yes. There are a lot of people out there that misinterpret this pH, and they say, if you are alkaline, there is no way to have a cancer. It is true in the majority of cases, but it is not always true. An example, you could take one of those machines that take the water, splits it in H+, OH-, throw the H+ in the sink, which is the acidic part, and take in the body OH-, and you can make a person alkaline in very short time. Does that mean that the person is now okay? Because if you go to measure the pH of such a person, you will find it 7.4. But it doesn't mean anything. You have cheated the pH. This is cheating to show a pH that is normal, just as a facade, an appearance. But inside the body, the problem, which is the elements and their proportion has not been addressed. So again, we go to basics. What is the cause? The initial cause is that the elements are not present in the right proportion in the body. What can we do to make the elements be present and in the right proportion? That's the subject of tonight. It's a DNA 136. How does it do that? How does the DNA correct this? Research has gone for many years into chemistry, biochemistry, physiology, to look into all the elements in the table of the elements and isolate how much of the carbon we need in our body, X. How much of the oxygen we need in our body, dot. How much of this? And they went on and on and on and on for all the minerals, the trace elements, and all the elements in the body. Once that has been decided upon and the range has been classified, then the entire gamma from A to Z of all these elements have been put together in the right proportion, along with some other things. What are the other things? You know, the body, when taking these elements with the right charge and frequency, can pretty much make 99% of what it needs, except that 1%. For example, essential sugars we cannot make. Essential fatty acids. The word essential means we are not able to. In this system, in this condition, 2013, we cannot. This will ever change? I don't know. But at this time, at this point in history, human being cannot manufacture, even if it's given all the elements, cannot build that house, which is essential sugars, essential fatty acids, and then certain essential substances like certain neurotransmitters that has to be provided to the body. The amino acids which compose the proteins, there are about 20 of them. But not all of them we can manufacture. Some of them, even the amino acid, which are some of the most important compounds in the human body, are called essential amino acid because we cannot produce them. So those have to be ingested. So in this formula, the essential substances that we cannot produce have been introduced along with the elements. When a person takes this DNA 136, little by little, the body is now adjusting the charge from its place of abnormality back toward normal. The charge. If the charge is adjusted, the frequencies occurring in the different tissues, cells, compounds, organs, systems are being adjusted. If the frequencies are being adjusted, the electromagnetic field, what is an electromagnetic field? Electro means electricity. You know, electricity is the passage of electrons in a filament, in the space. Whenever electrons are thrown in the space, like in a wire, electrical wire, or in the space, the moving of electrons is electricity. When electricity is passing, it creates around it a field that is an electrical field. In fact, some electrical fields, if it's a very high voltage, you will see the town putting something around it that people do not approach, because electrical field can be so powerful that it can harm a human being even from many feet of distance. Okay? So electrical field. That's the E. Electromagnetic. What is a magnet? A magnet is a structure that has opposing charges on the opposing sides. One plus on one side and one negative on one side. So this is a structure. It has two surfaces. On this side is positive, this other side is negative. So you have electrical field from electricity, and you have a magnetic field due to the charges. The combination of a magnetic field and electric field creates an electromagnetic field. If you have corrected the elements, corrected the charges, corrected the frequencies, your electromagnetic fields will be correct. That is a key player in the health of the human being. Many doctors, when they go to the university, up until today, we are in 2013, how much do they study about electromagnetic field? Zero. All what the doctors study is they study chemistry, biochemistry, physiology, how the body functions, anatomy, the structures. They study diseases, how to diagnose diseases, how to read an MRI, how to read a CAT scan, how to prescribe a medication, how to prescribe this, how to prescribe that, how to take care of an appendicitis in the hospital, etc., which is wonderful. I mean, we have to acknowledge the good that medicine has brought in many cases. But when it comes to studying the elements and the charges and the frequencies, this is physics. People who go to study physics study charges and electromagnetic fields. So you got the doctors on one end who are studying how to use medications, how to diagnose conditions. It's good to diagnose condition. You want to know what is the problem you have. But you have physicists who know about charges but know nothing about the human body. So there is discommunication between the different parts of knowledge. So you need to take all the elements of knowledge and put them together to find a solution. So the solution lies in physics, in chemistry, in biology, in anatomy, in electricity, in magnetic field, everything. Put all together. Knowledge is knowledge. It's humans that divided knowledge in its parts. No? Knowledge is knowledge. We divided it. We make a department of biology, a department of chemistry. They don't speak with each other. See? The doctor that sees the ears says, but doc, I have a problem here. Oh, you have to go to a chest doctor, a pulmonologist. Oh, my back hurt. Oh, you have to go to an orthopedic. But the orthopedic doesn't know about the eyes, and the eye doctor doesn't know about the throat, and the throat doctor doesn't know about the kidneys, and so on and so forth. You can go on and on and on in circles and never finish. So, once you correct that electromagnetic field, you're correcting the DNA. The DNA is the most detailed and deep structure that we know about in this day and age. Obviously, there is something behind the DNA. Science hasn't yet discovered. But today, we can say that the repository of information, the computer chip, the operating system of a computer, if we are a computer, is our DNA. Now we have different programs. We have the program kidney. What does the program kidney? That's the software. It tells the body to clear the blood, produce urine. We have the program lungs, takes the oxygen, throws out the CO2. And so we have the program heart, beating. These are softwares. But this is the main operating system. If we correct this, then this is correct, and this is correct. There is no more abnormality. There is normal tissue and normal cells. So the correction starts here. how much we should take of this DNA136. There is no exact science to tell you take 375 million. No, it doesn't work this way. We're not that sophisticated. You know, we would be sitting in a tertiary care sophisticated lab at university, and we need to examine each person for about 3 months and study everything about this person, and then come with a result. You need to do exactly that amount. But we don't need that. That would cost millions of dollars per person to know, but we don't need that. What we need is to have a rough estimate. If a person has no disease, no known disease, let us put it no known disease, because nobody has no disease really. Even the baby who is born is already starting with a problem. But a person has no known disease. 1 scoop is for maintenance. Why? What are we maintaining? We're maintaining this chain of reaction, because sad to say, our food today is not the food that our ancestors at the time of Abraham used to eat. The milk and the cheese that Abraham offered to the 3 visitors was wonderful. But we can't find that milk anymore. The bread that they cooked, that Sarah cooked, I wish we had her today. But we can't. So we need 1 scoop no matter what. It is a shame that this product is available and one doesn't take advantage of it, because it's really so important. 1 scoop a day is a maintenance to keep going. If you come to know about any condition, going from sore throat to chest pain to back pain, knee pain, headaches, migraines, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, everything mild. The doctor, you go to the doctor and says, you know, your blood sugar is not very high. I cannot say you're diabetic, but you're a pre-diabetic. You are going to become a diabetic. Pre-diabetic is a condition, but is mild, okay? Any condition that is known, now you have a known entity. So you have to move from 1 scoop to 2 scoops. 2 scoops a day. How do you take them? 2 scoops once a day is fine. You want to do a better job, you take 1 scoop twice a day, if you can. You're in a hurry, you take them. It's a busy day, you have so much going on, you cannot be bothered, take them. When you wake up, 2 scoops, it's done. If you have the opportunity, 1 scoop twice a day. Why 1 scoop twice a day is better than 2 scoops once a day? What's the logic? That's the logic. Our body doesn't work in 1 second and stays dormant for the 23 hours. Our body is continuously working. If you feed the body 1 scoop in the morning, it will be absorbed and it goes to the tissue. Then 12 hours later, you give another scoop. The body is happy. There is continuous movement of good elements in the right proportion. Let us say that you go to the doctor and the doctor said, you know, I found you have diabetes. Or, you know what, you have high blood pressure, sir. I need to put you on some medication for high blood pressure. I'm going to put you on Norvasc, 5 milligrams once a day. Gives you the prescription, you go to the pharmacist, you take the pill, you say, God, please help me, because I have this blood pressure. And the doctor said, hey, if you don't take care of your blood pressure, your heart can start to weaken. And if your blood pressure goes too high, one of the arteries in the brain might explode and leak blood, and you go to the hospital and they diagnose a stroke or hemorrhagic stroke, and so on and so forth. Now, and if the heart has to pump against so much of a high pressure, it weakens. And one of these days, it might give you a myocardial infarction, called by people heart attack. Or the rhythm goes and you start having arrhythmias. Goes too slow or too fast. But it's okay, you take Norvasc 5 milligrams once a day. I am not contrary, this is your decision. But again, you are working, instead of the abnormality becoming precancerous, you know, abnormalities are abnormalities. If it is abnormalities in the arteries, it gives you hypertension. If it is abnormalities in the pancreas, it gives you diabetes. If it's abnormalities in the heart, it can give you a heart problem. So if it's in the brain, it can be Alzheimer's disease, dementia, you name it, Parkinson's disease. So cancer is just a label that says you have gone very far, sir, with your abnormalities. That's what it means. If you go to the doctor and you have been diagnosed with any of these diseases, it's because you have been off balance for a pretty long time. You didn't get off balance in 1 to 2 weeks developing a diabetes or a Parkinson or a heart attack. It doesn't make sense. You have been off balance for a long time. Today, in 2013, in the 7 billion people that live on this planet who are not really taking care at this level, they are developing diseases, and diseases are escalating. Not because the food does not have what we need anymore, it's lacking, but because also there is toxicity, which is the unidentified flying object, UFOs, in our body. What are these invaders? Heavy metal toxicity. Heavy metal toxicity. One heavy metal is mercury. You get a silver filling. They call it silver filling, but it has majority of mercury. I don't know why they call it silver filling. It has more mercury than silver. Then, well, nobody wanted to call it mercury filling because people would get scared. There are today, imagine how this world is so messed up, down to the bottom. There are today still dentists in 2013 that are so conventional that they want to still put silver fillings in the mouths of people, knowingly that the mercury gives heavy metal toxicity. Mercury goes to the kidneys, the mercury goes to the brain, it contributes to autism in children, it contributes to heart problems, it contributes to Alzheimer, it contributes to a lot of things. It contributes to an abnormal DNA. So, heavy metal toxicity, radioactive material, Chernobyl, and the Japanese plant that has exploded and still leaking in the ocean. I mean, you name it. We are surrounded by toxicity no matter what. Well, one person would say, I am going to leave Albany, Georgia. Why do you want to leave Albany, Georgia? Well, Dr. Nakouzi, you said it's toxic. I'm going to go to the Himalaya and live by myself with some sheep and goat. Okay, I'll produce milk like the time of Abraham. You will not be able to. I tell you why. Not because it's icy conditions, but because even in the Himalaya, sad to say, all the toxicity that is put in the air by civilized countries, more so than third world countries, so United States, Canada, Europe, East Europe, China, Japan, that manufacture cars, manufactures guns, manufacture all sorts of things, manufacture airspace shuttles, all that stuff is going in the air. And where it's going? It's going to the North Pole and the South Pole and the top of Mount. So there is no, you will have to go to the moon. The sad thing is there is no atmosphere on the moon. You can't live anywhere. So there is no escape. No escape. We are condemned in this toxicity environment in the sense, you lost, I think, something there.
Your ring. Oh, get it?
Toxic material. He got scared. So because we have so much toxicity and we are lacking in the right proportion of elements, we are desperate for something like DNA136. So going back, if we have a condition, we go up to 2 scoops, once a day or 1 scoop twice a day. But let us say that now you're not pre-diabetic, but you are a really diabetic. you need glyburide or glipizide or insulin or one of those heavy-duty medications. I am not against those medications, and it's not my place to criticize. I am not here to do that. You could do whatever you want, but remember that at that point you need to go up to 3 scoops, because 2 scoops will help you, but not enough. Your toxicity has reached a very high level in the barrel. There is a barrel of toxicity. When we are born, we are here. We still have toxicity up to here, even when we are born. So we need 1 scoop. If we have a condition that is known, that is mild, the toxicity level has gone up here, we need 2 scoops. If the condition is severe, for example, diabetes, we need 3 scoops. Look at what level of toxicity you are. If we don't do anything about it, but we take just our insulin and we fool ourselves. Why we fool ourselves? Because like the cancer patient, takes the chemo, knocks off the cancer, does the surgery, does the MRI, no more cancer, I'm happy. Happy fool. Honestly. Because the cancer did not go away. If you think that the cancer is that cancer mass, then you're being fooled. The cancer mass is the manifestation on the surface. The roots and the plants are underground. You need to take the roots of that plant. If you cut the above ground, it will flourish again. Give it some time. You need to take it from the root. Here is the root. This is the extremity, the deepest part of the root. You take it from here up. So now we cross the diabetes. Now we have diabetes and hypertension, and we had a heart attack. Ooh, mamma mia. You have a level 4 of toxicity. You need 4. You need 4, because if you have 4 levels of toxicity in the barrel, how are you going to clean? Remember, every day you're putting toxicity in your body. Imagine a sink. There is a faucet above the sink. From this faucet is coming poisonous material. Poisonous material. It's an old home with oxidized copper tubes, and every water coming down is spilling heavy metal toxins. Stuff that is very toxic. Your body is that sink, and the faucet is bringing toxin every day. The little hole that you have, where you drain, that's how much is the level of scoops that you're taking. If you're taking 1 scoop, you're making an opening like this. If there is little bit of toxin coming in the sink, it drains from this. But if I open the faucet a little bit more, that's not enough. We need 2 scoops. If it is more and more toxins coming in and it's not enough, we need to open to 3 scoops. The diameter of that draining from the sink opens up and you eliminate them. Remember that every day, no matter what you do, even if you live the best lifestyle, let us say, you are a runner, you run the marathon every day, you wake up early, you sleep early, you get enough hours, 8 to 9 hours, and you eat all organic foods and vegetables. You have a kitchen, you have a cook who is paid by you to prepare to you every meal. At noon you eat, and then at dinner you eat, and you do exercise. No problem about money, you have an open account. And all what you do is you read magazine, newspapers, you speak, you make friendship, and you're having a good life. That is also toxic. Because the air you're inhaling is the air of the city of Albany.
Planet Earth.
Planet Earth. You're still inhaling radioactive material. You're still inhaling allergens, you're still inhaling CO2, you're still inhaling a lot of garbage that is thrown in the air. You're drinking water, no matter what filter you have, there are certain things that you cannot possibly filter. No filter ever says 100% if you look at it. It's impossible. So you're still having some stuff coming. Let us say you put a shirt on your neck. To make this shirt the color it is, they have to put a color. That color is touching the skin all day. That skin is taking that colorant. That colorant is going in the skin, absorbed in the fat, and going and circulating in the body. You put stockings. They are made of petroleum-derived material. You put the shirts, you put the ties, you put jewelry. You put things on your body. Makeup, deodorant, well, different makeup. If it is an organic makeup, it's less toxic. If it is not an organic makeup, it's more toxic. But the point is, you have toxicity, so you go up. If it is severe condition and multiple, you're going up to 4. But if a person has cancer, by definition, you start at 4. You start at 4. It's cancer. Are you kidding me? Even stage 1. Even what they call DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ in females, which some are debating if it's cancer or not. I don't care. It's ductal carcinoma. Carcinoma is a form of cancer. If the scientists say it's cancer, not cancer, it's only a terminology. The body, to produce a DCIS, it had to alter itself for a long time. So, I would start at 4 scoops as stage 1. Stage 2, every additional stage I add 1. So the formula would be, in the case of cancer, would be the magic number 3 plus the stage. 3 plus the stage. Stage 1 equal 4 scoops. Stage 2, 3 plus 2, 5. Stage 3, 3 plus 3, 6. Stage 4, 3 plus 4, 7. Terminal is 5. There is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and there is terminal. What is terminal? Terminal is the doctor says, listen, my friend, you're not going to make it. You have about maximum few weeks. I think you should go to not a nursing home, but a hospice. You should meet with your family, take care of your assets, take care of your will, do what you have to do, because your days are counted. If your days are counted, then we can count 3 plus T. T is a 5. It's beyond stage 4. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 is a starting point. But if you want to do a good job, you would start even, if it is a terminal case, you start with 10 for about a couple of weeks. To jump start this reaction here, to bring you to a terminal level, means it's so frozen. You really need a massive jolt in the body to jump start your metabolism. A good 10 scoops, I don't care how you take them. Should I take the 10 together? I don't care. Take 10 together, take 5 twice a day, 3 times a day, 2 5 times, any way you want. By the way, I was sitting with Jonathan today in a restaurant, Italian restaurant. I said, Jonathan, do you have a couple of scoops of DNA136? He said, yeah, I have it. I said, let's take it in the restaurant. I put 2 scoops. Because I had to do the seminar, I needed a little bit of, energy. I put 2 scoops.
Going like you took 4, right?
So I put 2 scoops. He said, what are you doing? I said to the person serving the table, I said, listen, do you have some extra virgin olive oil? She said, yes. She brought a nice, it's an Italian restaurant, so she brought a nice cup of extra virgin olive oil. I put it in the scoops and I started mixing them. They mix very well with the oil. And the oil, what is good about the oil is that the olive oil, good quality olive oil, is expensive by the way, but a good quality olive oil is what is needed for the liver to kind of keep going. The liver loves the olive oil. Okay, so when you mix that with the DNA136, first of all, the taste becomes so pleasant. Something about the olive oil, it takes away that extreme taste for some of us, and it gives that pleasant thing. And I had Jonathan taste it. He said, "Oh my goodness, you opened my eyes. I have to tell Joanda, his wife, how to mix it with the olive oil. This is wonderful."
Put it on bread or what?
You put, no. You could put it with bread if you want.
Would you eat it like that?
Yeah, eat it like that. Jonathan suggested, go ahead.
It was shocking. You know, when he started mixing, I said, this man lost his mind. That's going to be the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. And then he just forced it on me. And I said, oh no, I'm going to throw up. This is not good. I was shocked. It tasted really good. I said, you take this and spread this on some crackers, and this is going to be really nice. So it was the vanilla, it happened to be the vanilla. So I can't fathom trying it with any of the others, but the vanilla was definitely very good.
You have a question?
Yeah, so I'm wondering what the ingredients are in this and
In the DNA?
in the DNA, and
Good.
how is it manufactured so that when it enters the body, it's not a foreign object?
Okay, very good question. So 2 parts for the question. Go ahead.
Can we present a few folks
You're right.
that had some,
and then we can
some
do
results,
the question and answers.
and then we'll take that question first?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's some individuals here. Some of them have been using products, not just the DNA136. Some of them have been using a few of the other products, ImmunRx and
Of course.
a few other things. So maybe if some of them would like to share their story, we'd love to just hear some of their results. Dr. Sherman, you've been using one of the products, is that right? Would you mind just sharing?
Yes, but not that. I've been taking
Hang on.
Zavita, but I have been taking this.
ImmunRx. You took the ImmunRx?
ImmunRx.
The spray and the capsules?
Oh, yes. I take that, and it seems to increase my energy. I sleep too long. I'm retired. I don't get up until 8 o'clock. I used to get up at 6. I feel real good. I have no digestive problem. But I didn't know that I was going to be presented tonight.
That's okay. That's okay. We
Yeah,
can
but
Are you interested in the DNA136 now?
well, I'm thinking about that, but more important than that, I'm going to go to the dentist. I have some of that mercury that I've been carrying for years. Okay.
To answer, not your question, but to answer your statement or make a comment, you can go to the dentist, you can change the silver filling to a white filling. You do your body a good service. How much this is going to prevent this reaction is going to be only partially, because the silver filling or mercury toxicity is only one small part of the big equation. How do we jumpstart this to become a normal chain reaction? You need more than now. If you do this nutritional program and still have silver filling, what you would be doing is this. You would be accompanying the molecules of mercury that is circulating in the body and circulating in the kidney and circulating in the brain and other tissues. You would be coaching it out of the body because you have enough of these elements in the right proportion to do the job. It is better to do the nutritional program of DNA136 plus change the silver filling to a good filling rather than do just the DNA alone, 136, or just the silver filling alone. So you have to approach the matter from different angles. Okay?
Councilman Manning?
Sorry? You know, she asked a question before, maybe.
It's okay.
No, we're going to get
I
back to our
also
questions.
asked a question about the civil fillings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to the questions. If you hold it, make a note, please, if you can. Catherine Manning, this is Catherine.
Yes, my name is Catherine Manning, and well, I would say the cancer's gone completely, but I'm here, and that is due to the fact that I took the ImmunRx, the tablet and the spray, and also I took the ImmunoCal too, and it is very, very good. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011, and I was stage 4. And I think in February of, I'm getting kind of old. I'm 65, and with the chemo that I took, it caused you to have memory loss, and you can't remember everything correct, especially the dates. And but anyway, I did the CAT scan. Well, not CAT scan. What you call it? PET scan. And they said I was, and my sister here was with me, and she told me, she said, well, we didn't see no cancer anywhere, and all we see is this white spots. It's gone. You know, we look at each other, and we say, oh, I said to myself, I know it wasn't gone, so I knew I still needed to take, well, I started with the ImmunoCal. I had started with that ImmunRx, and well, it's stuff to remember. But anyway, I started taking the ImmunRx, which was this, it's been about 2 months ago, may not been that long. And when I went back to the doctor, I think it was in March, they told me that my cancer had started to go back up. And it just was unbelievable what she told me. She said I was, it had went up to 189, and now it had dropped to 83. And I was taking the ImmunoCal and the MRX. I didn't say ImmunoRx. The capsule and the spray. Then after that, I went back to the doctor, I think about 3 weeks later, and it had went down to 67. So, and that's very good, I would think. So, and I'm going to continue to take it, and then I'm going to start on that, which was talking about that DNA136.
Excellent, thank you. Your name, please?
Esther Pittman.
Esther Pittman, okay.
Y'all can't believe 2 sisters had cancer.
Well, could you just pause 1 second? Could you explain maybe just for a little bit why the ImmunRx might have had an impact on her cancer?
The previous,
Yes.
okay. What's your name again?
Catherine Manning.
Catherine. The question was, why would the ImmunRx, everybody knows about ImmunRx?
No.
No. Okay, let me define ImmunRx, and then I will answer the question that he asked me. Why would the ImmunRx, which is not the DNA136, have such a deep effect on the patient? ImmunRx has spray and capsule form. The difference between the spray form and the capsule form, both of them come from the colostrum, which is the first milk that comes out of the mother animal. The first milk. In nature, that first milk, called colostrum, to distinguish it from regular milk, which the mother will give, continue to give, is extremely rich in immune system factors. Extremely rich. Up to like thousands of times a regular milk. Why would the Creator put the colostrum in the milk of a mother in the first few hours, up to 18 hours? Because the newborn animal when it goes out to the outside world, is immediately exposed to some insults and toxicities that would wipe that poor newborn out of existence, that would kill that newborn. So he needs massive amounts of immune system boosters to cope with the situation. He was intra-utero, the life inside the uterus of the mother is comfortable, is warm, is non-toxic, is nice, clean, is nourished, is having all the care that it needed. But now in the outside world, it's completely different. It's separated from the mother. So though that colostrum will provide the newborn all what it needs to have an effective immune system. Scientists have said, well, why don't we take that stuff and give it to ourselves, even though we are not newborns? When we have a problem with our immune system, let us strengthen our, it works. When they did the experiments, it works. So what's the difference between the spray and the capsules? The spray and the capsules are both from the colostrum, but the capsules have, in addition, some of the immunoglobulins from that milk that are not present in that same quantity in the spray. But that said, in the spray you have a much higher concentration of those master molecules that coordinate the immune system and make it work close to perfection. So in an orchestra, you have the director and you have the musicians, each one with an instrument. Without a good director, it's chaos. This person here sitting in the first row doesn't know what the person in the last row. She strikes a note, but then a tenth of a second she strikes another note, and a good listening ear will know this is not a good group. It cannot go like this. So you need a musician that when he does the strikes, everybody in the group is going at the same pace. This director of the orchestra are the molecules that are present in the colostrum, in the spray. Is very, very key. But if you also take the capsules on top of the spray, you are adding immunoglobulins. There are 5 classes of immunoglobulin. What does it mean, immunoglobulins? Globulin means a peptide that has a globule shape. In other words, you know, it's a shape sometime like this. They call it globulin. Although the shape of the immunoglobulin is different, but that's the original term. Immuno means it is a globulin that will serve for immune purposes. What is immunity? Immunity is our defense system against invaders that would constitute a risk for our life. A virus, a bacteria, a parasite. We need our immune system to fight. It's our army that fights invaders. Now, immunoglobulin, there are IgM, IgG, IgA, IgE. IgE are the secretory because they are present in secretions. They are present in the lining of the lungs and lining of the intestines. And there is abundance of IgE in the ImmunRx that is capsules. So when you take the ImmunRx capsules, you're protecting the lining of the lungs, the lining of the sinuses, the lining of the oral mucosa, the throat, the lining of the trachea, the tubes, the bronchi, and the lining of the intestine. The ImmunRx spray goes beyond that. The spray has the director of the orchestra. So in other words, it enters the body and will make the entire immune system synchronized so that it's communication between the kidney and the lung and the brain so that they all put efforts together in unity, like an orchestra. Not one playing one note, the other playing another note. It's not chaotic. It's synchronized in harmony so that they can all put efforts against that invader and they will knock that invader out. So ImmunRx spray, ImmunRx capsules. Let's go to the, now that we know, let me just finish it. Now that we know a little bit about what they are, to answer the question about Catherine, why taking, did you take the capsules and the spray or just the spray?
Both.
Both. Aha. When you take the ImmunRx spray and the capsules, you're orchestrating and synchronizing your immune system, but you're also protecting the lining of your mucous membrane. When we say mucous membrane, the intestine and the lungs, all the membranes. When you do that, you are having an immune system that is working. When the immune system works, even if there is cancer, what does the immune system do with cancer cells? It kills them. So taking ImmunRx spray and capsules, is it good for the cancer? You bet. It's very good. But if you want, so that explains why she had a lot of benefits.
So the immune system was doing the job.
Was doing the job. But the ImmunRx capsules and sprays, although it works wonderful as immune system at this level, it's not directing at the cause of the, now we have to, we start understanding. Yes, I take ImmunRx spray and capsules to take care of not just cancer, but let us say you have a sore throat, you have a flu, you have a cold, you have infection in your kidney, you have infection in a tooth, you have sinusitis, you have peritonitis, you have pericarditis. Whatever you have, an infection, you need the immune system to be working right. So ImmunRx capsules and spray is wonderful. But if you really want to go to the root of the problem, you need to start taking DNA136. So if we want to summarize with simple words the difference between DNA136 on one end and ImmunRx spray and capsule on the other end, we would say that ImmunRx spray and capsules will work today, will start working today, and will fix certain things quickly. But it's a quick fix, and we love quick fix. Of course, taking the maintenance, those will help your immune system be in check, which is something that everybody wants. But the DNA136 long term is going to be the deep-rooted solution. You are separating the dirt. You are going through the roots until you extirpate everything from the root up. You take that thing out of your body. That's the DNA136. So you, in reality, if the person can afford it, because it can, I understand, it can become pretty expensive. Then, if a person can do it, the combination is the best. The combination is the best.
Catherine Manning? Oh, Esther Pittman. We went to Catherine Manning.
We have the other person, and when we come to you. Sorry.
Okay. I was, as I was saying, I am also a cancer survivor.
That's wonderful.
I was diagnosed with stage 2 cancer. And, well, I too started taking the immune chem. This, the R, what is it?
The spray.
The spray.
The ImmunRx.
I'm familiar with that.
Yes.
So, after finding out about the spray and the capsules, I started taking that. Well, when I returned to the doctor to be checked, my scores had gone down to 12. It had never been 12 before.
Which cancer, may I ask?
Breast cancer.
Breast cancer, okay.
So it had been up to, like, they said you have something to worry about if you get up to 29. Well, I was in the 20s once, and it, of course, frightened me to death. But like I said, after taking the ImmunRx, everything started changing. I was very energetic, sleep really well, and to my surprise, I didn't even know I had a tooth problem. But my chin started hurting, and I didn't know what it was. But so I just put a warm cloth on it, tried to do that, because I didn't even know I had a tooth problem. But after I remembered someone tell me, why don't you just spray back there on your gum? And I did that, the pain went away. And I haven't had any more pain since. I know I probably am going to still have to go to the dentist to find out what's going on. But it actually got rid of it. And as far as, I'm still on the spray and the capsules, but I was looking forward to finding out more about the DNA136 because I really would like to take that.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you. And then just one more.
I think Catherine, I don't know if you want to add something or comment. She wants to add something.
Okay. I'm sorry?
So I think it's very important to.
In yours, Dr. Nash?
I forgot to say, when I was diagnosed, I had cancer in the middle of my breast. I had cancer here and around my neck and almost about the baseline of my neck and some on my bone also. And she asked me, did I want to have surgery? So she said I had a choice. I could have it or not, because if it's going to come back, she said it'll come back another one. So I never had surgery.
Wow.
There is, do you want to come down here because she has...
We just had one more.
One more?
Clemmy McLean.
Well, I'll try to be brief. Most of you know me. I got sick in 2011. I got diagnosed with scleroderma. It's something that a lot of people don't know about. I didn't know about it myself. It causes tightness. I overproduce. It's an autoimmune disease, and I am overproducing collagen.
Could you please come to the front this way, if you don't mind? No? You don't want her to come to the front?
If she's comfortable, she go. If she's okay.
Because majority of people do not know what you are speaking about, so it's good to associate with.
Well, the collagen is the glue that holds our tissues together. So by me overproducing it, it caused me to become hard. I'm no longer soft and supple as I thought I was. They diagnosed me in July 2011. And by that time, I had become so stiff when I got in the bed, I was like this. I couldn't lie down in any position and get relaxed. So then I got to the rheumatologist that November, and she tells me after blood work that I have the one that's called systemic, which is the worst one. It attacks my organs. So while you feel me hard on the outside, my organs are tightening up inside. I have every kind of doctor there is. Got the heart doctor, the lung doctor, the kidney doctor, the GI doctor. I got the regular doctor. I got the rheumatologist. One time I thought I was just going to the doctor. That was every week I had doctor's appointments. But I was still taking my ImmunRx. Never stopped taking ImmunRx. And I was doing all I could do. I did herbs. But nothing worked for me. What used to work for me just didn't do it anymore. So Jonathan called me and asked me, would I try the DNA136? And I said, well, how much do I have to take? And he goes, can you start with 8? And I go, 8? He said, don't worry about it this month. Just do this and we'll go from there. So I got started. I had an appointment that Monday. This was on a Thursday, the 19th of June. I had one box of that stuff in my closet waiting to carry it to my herbalist to get it checked on the machine to make sure I could take it. And so I started right then that day when we got off the phone. By the time I got to her, which was 5 days later, she goes, what are you doing? In addition to our protocol, I said, well, I've got this stuff. I brought it for you to check it. And I said, well, can I take it? Is it against me? And she turns the screen around and I got all these green lines. And I'm going, I couldn't believe it because I always had yellow, yellow, red, 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 one green. yellow, red, maybe one green. And I couldn't believe it. But I began to feel better. I have acid reflux like you would, they call it GERD, that's just normal for people with scleroderma. Because nothing is working. Everything is not absorbing. So when I eat, no matter how much it is or what it is, it stays in there, it just turns. So it's right here when I'm sleeping. So I've got 6 pillows in the bed, by the way. I try to hold up. But anyway, I got on that DNA, and I was taking the 8. I took it every kind of way you could take it. Like I was taking 2, taking 3, taking 4, but I got the 8 in a day. I was calling Jonathan. He was trying to keep up with me too, trying to find out what I was doing and how I was doing it. So anyway, I got through the month. In 2 weeks' time, let me tell you what was happening to me. I was lying down. I would get up in the mornings, and I had a sheet on my sofa in the living room. And I would get to the front of the house, and I would lie down. In between going from the bed to the bathroom to the front, I would just lie down. That was all I could do. I didn't have any energy at all. Well, that started on the 19th of June, July. I drove myself to Donaldsonville to my family reunion, July 4th. I went to the assembly there Friday, stayed all day. I was looking for my aspirin because I needed for my knees. I always take an aspirin. But got to take aspirin, got home that night and was going, we never got the aspirin, and my knees not hurting. So that was, I saw results that I didn't even anticipate from the DNA 136, but it really helped me. The only thing is now, I'm still going. I've driven myself to Atlanta last month. I'm still going. I don't have the contraction that I was in therapy for like 8 weeks the first of the year. I had gotten like this with the locking, but I don't even have that. It's still tight, but it's nothing like it was. I can still drive. It's a long and a short. I can still drive.
We really appreciate the courage.
That's kind of a tremendous story there, Dr. Nakouzi, because she's gone through an awful lot, and to see that, maybe if you could just help. We know that it has to be right here in this area, but I'm sure that they would appreciate just something, understanding of how that could work.
So, what's your first name again?
Clemmy.
Clement? Clemmy. Clemmy had a problem with the percentage of elements that compose her body. They were off. I do not know what they were, but if somebody wanted to know, she could have done a blood work, checking each and every element, calcium and magnesium and phosphorus and sulfur and copper and zinc, which doctors don't do today. Because they, why are you checking this? What are you trying to demonstrate? So she had a problem with these elements that were off balance, with a problem in the charges, problem in the frequencies that we spoke about. Her electromagnetic field was different. Her DNA got affected, is no more the DNA that she was born with. When she manufactures a daughter cell, it was not the same. When she makes proteins, they are not the same. They are not functioning properly. And one of the structures that she makes is collagen. Collagen. The word collagen is 2 words. Colla and gen. Colla in English is colla in Latin. Colla means glue. You remember she was saying there is glue? Okay. This is glue. And gen, to generate. So collagen is something that generates glue that ties the tissues together. So when there was this abnormality here, she had an abnormality in the collagen. There were too much of it. We need some glue in the body, but if it is too much, what happens? the skin ties start to tighten. Eventually, the skin tightens in the chest so much that you become like, I put a rope and I tie her with a rope, I suffocate her. So people can die by suffocation, they can't breathe. But in her case, by taking the DNA136, did she do well? Did Jonathan do well in telling her take 8 scoops? Absolutely. Scleroderma is not a joke. It's a condition that is very life-threatening. It's a condition that is very life-threatening. So when she started taking the DNA136, she normalized this collagen amount, and her skin returned not so tight, much better, more relaxed. The fingers can open, she can drive like you saw her. Had she not taken the DNA136, she would not have been the person that you have seen tonight, obviously. Jonathan?
And it's absolutely remarkable just to see the kinds of results that have been taking place thus far. I know that there were a few questions that we wanted the doctor to address, so let's take a couple of them first. Ma'am, then?
Karen.
Your question?
Was, I asked what were the ingredients, how they're manufactured, and what would prevent them presenting themselves in the body as a foreign object, since they're not God-made.
Okay. So the DNA136, it contains pretty much all the elements that the body is made of. Okay. Just to answer your question, they are God-made, these elements. They are. So they are, that's why we spoke about the table of the elements. Carbon is God-made, nitrogen is God-made, oxygen is God-made. All of them are God-made, are the elements of which this planet Earth, this universe is made of, and our body is made from what the Earth is made. Okay? Okay? But we have life in this body. So the human body is life, force, plus the elements. So the elements are God-made. What then, to answer the question why they are absorbed or what can prevent them, they are actually the best things to get absorbed are the elements. You must see on television sometimes they say juicers or blenders or this or that. It chops things at the cellular level. It keeps chopping and chopping and chopping to go down where? They go down to the elements. The more you go down to the elements, the more the absorption goes high. So these are the highest absorption you could ever have in a product. Does that answer your questions? They are natural, they are highly absorbable, and they are really recommended.
I've got about 50 questions.
You know what you need to do? You need to come to Atlanta, Georgia.
This was 2 hours to get over here.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, but I wanted to meet you.
Okay.
One thing you said was so true, that when you first take that PET scan, and then afterwards, it's like improved, but then after a few months, it's back. That happened to me. It really happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
The 9 lights, you know,
Yes.
it had gone down to 5,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one. And then when I had another one, it hadn't improved. It had gotten a little worse. So anyway, I'm looking for another test next week, 24th.
Mm-hmm.
I think the CAT scan is done.
Yes.
So he's told me to do the 8th. And it's torture, but I'm doing it. It's torture, but I'm doing the 8th. And, but I wanted to ask too, when you say you have these bad problems, you go up with the scoops, but you don't go up that much with the spray and the pills. Does that help? Like I'm with the 8 now, and I want to get a good result with that CAT scan, would it help me to increase with the capsules and the spray, or won't that do much, help much because it's not?
If you are taking 8 scoops of the DNA136, meaning you are addressing this pathway here. The ImmunRx spray, if you're taking, how much you are taking? 4 sprays 4 times a day?
The regular, 3, what is it?
4 sprays 3 times a day and
Yeah.
4
Yeah,
capsules
so
3 times a day.
the best is if you want to maximize, take 4 sprays 4 times a day. That's a very decent dose. 4 sprays 4 times a day.
Okay.
And then the capsules, you can take 4 capsules 4 times a day. It's easy to remember because it's 4-4. 4 sprays 4 times a day, 4 capsules 4 times a day. And you are doing a pretty decent job. Now, let us say, for the rare occasion, rare, I'm not saying it's your case, that you are doing 8 scoops of DNA136. You're doing 4 sprays 4 times a day of the spray and 4 capsules 4 times, but you sense as a human being that there's something not right in you. Can you at that point increase? Yes. But first try this protocol. If this feels to you and to the results on the PET scan or CAT scan that is not doing what you like it to do, you could increase. Absolutely. How could you increase? Well, you could take the 4 sprays, instead of 4 times a day, you could go to 5 times a day. The 4 capsules, instead of 4 times a day, you could go to 5 times a day. This you could escalate. There is no side effect from doing that. But I would do it only if you are not satisfied with the result, which really, to my knowledge, rarely happens. And you could even go up on this one to 9 scoops or 10 scoops. So there is room to increase, but only if you feel it's not to your satisfaction, which I doubt. If you're doing everything else right, it should almost not happen.
So you can't. There's no such thing as overdosing.
I don't think so. Because we are taking the elements, like I was answering her question, these are the elements that you find in the salads and the broccoli and the greens and the vegetables are present, and they are in the right proportion. Now, just before I answer the other one, what can happen, which is not a side effect, but it is an effect, I would call a non-desirable effect. There is a difference between a non-desirable effect and a side effect. In this world of DNA136 and ImmunRx, sprays or capsule, the word side effects is virtually non-existent. There is no possible damage from taking this, okay? But an undesirable effect can happen on occasion that the person, if taking too much, there is a lot of toxins and garbage being mobilized inside the body and being shoveled outside the body. And when you have such an amount of toxicity being thrown out, what can happen? Maybe a little headache, because the blood sensors in the brain sense there is a lot of toxicity moving in this blood to go in the urine and the stool and the sweat. Maybe a lot of phlegm. But that's okay. If you can tolerate that, good for you. If you cannot tolerate that, then decrease a little bit, not too much. So you can tolerate it, and then you start working your way up. So there is no side effect, but undesired effect. Yes?
Is it very important to drink enough water?
Oh, you bet. Absolutely.
Detoxify?
Absolutely. And you know, even though they say there is no limit in water, be careful, because extremely high amounts of water can cause brain swelling. So extremely high amount of water can cause brain swelling. So you could drink water, 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liters. Liters, here they don't use liters, but let's say 4 cups is 1 liter. You drink 8 cups, that's 2 liters. 12 cups of water, that's 3 liters. A liter is a quarter of a gallon. Okay? A liter is a quarter of a gallon. So 2 liters is half a gallon, 3 liters is 3/4 of a gallon. You could do that, but I wouldn't go too high. Okay? From 2 liters, 2.5 liters and above is a pretty decent amount of water. Okay? But I wouldn't go too high. Yes?
And there are some nutritionists who say half your body weight in ounces is about right. You want this lady right here?
You can choose. It's not trouble.
Thanks. So with arthritis, autism, diabetes, the DNA136 is supposed to help balance those things in your body. You know, once you start taking it and you get to the source, so to speak, as you were explaining.
As a medical doctor, I cannot say this helps this and this helps that. You really did it. I don't know if you did the disclaimer.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So we usually say to protect the license and to protect the respect for the agencies, federal agencies, and the laws in this country. We are bound to say that because this is not a drug, we cannot say it treats, cures, prevents, or does what any of these things. But this is only a seminar for educational purposes, and I cannot make the decision for you. But that said, to answer your questions, diabetes is here, is a level 3 toxicity. So if we are at level 3 toxicity, producing abnormalities in the pancreas to cause diabetes, where do we need to work on this? We need to work here. And if we start here with the DNA136, how many scoops? We can start with 30. Now when we say we start, is a starting point. Diabetes has different levels. There is the diabetic that takes oral medication. That's okay to take 3 scoops. There is the diabetic that moves from oral medication to 2 oral medications. If you are on 2 oral medication for diabetes, I would take 4 scoops. If you are on insulin, that's an advanced diabetes, I would go to 5 scoops. If you are a diabetic who had the DKA, meaning that you have been hospitalized because you have diabetes ketoacidosis, you are almost falling on the floor and fainting, and they found your sugar in the range of 400-500, and they put you on IV drips and stuff like that, I would take 6 scoops, meaning your diabetes is so advanced. So when we say it's a level 3 toxicity, this is a starting point. Once you are diagnosed with diabetes, you are locked at 3 or above. If the level of diabetes is so severe, you go 3 to 4 to 5 to 6.
And the simple formula for this, and keep in mind, the Cellular Health Foundation is there as a touchstone. So what you can do is just go to the website, cellularhealth.org, you fill out the form, become a member. It says it's $89.95, but do not make the payment. It's free for the first 30 days. If you decide to make a purchase of anything, toothpaste, your membership is perpetual. You have 30 days to do that. If you don't make the payment or make a purchase, then your membership is simply canceled. Just go online and fill out the form. With that, you would describe what the situation is, and then our nutritionists and medical people will give a recommendation as to how much of what to take, and then you simply decide, from that point on. So it's very simple, to figure that out. So just go to the website, cellularhealth.org. It's the easiest way to do that. So many folks that are members of the foundation, we're doing everything we can to get that information to the hands of folks. Now,
so the rest of your life, you have to take that the rest of your life?
The problem is, as Dr. Nakouzi has explained, these elements are missing from our food, and we're not getting it in the right proportion, and we're being bombarded by toxins. Our body is breaking down every single day. We eat every day, so we try to stay alive every day. The problem is we're not getting all the essential elements every day.
I have been in this business of taking care of cancer patients and chronically ill patients for 30 years. In 30 years, I have bumped into so many products and programs and protocols. At this point in time, I myself take the DNA136 because I have tested it.
Boxes of it in his office, in his house.
I take it, my wife takes it, I shove it in my throat. Sometimes I don't like the taste. It's not the best tasting product. Sometimes it's disgusting in the beginning. But you know what? As disgusting the taste as it can be, how much money you put on your health?
That's right.
How much money you would put for your health? I think it's priceless. So you know what? I have been studying for myself, not the benefits of DNA, but how to make it in such a way that my palate takes it with pleasure. I have found that when I put it with extra virgin olive oil, it is wonderful.
I was shocked.
So I take it, to answer your question, do you take it for the rest of the life? Absolutely. If I am with no diagnosed condition, I'll take it once a day. When I'm doing seminar, I could take it 2 or 3 scoops. If it is an intense regimen with flying to China or Japan and I'm 18 hours on the plane, I bet maybe I take 10 scoops of it. Do you know the oxidation that happens in the air with those engines?
Yes, that's right.
It's terrible. It's cancer producing.
Well, doctor, so when you mix it with the virgin olive oil, you still do take the cod liver oil?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's
absolutely. That's a good question. I should have said.
3 gel caps for every scoop.
You're right.
It comes along with it. 3 gel caps for every scoop. Several questions here. This man has been trying.
Jeanette Marshall.
Yes.
Doctor, I have a question here, and so far I have taken in some incredible ideas. I have a problem, and I would like to know what can help it.
Okay.
And that is smoking. Now,
okay.
that it leads to cancer. Now,
Are you registered with the Cellular Health Foundation?
No.
No. First step is, if you may allow me, because I need to be practical here. First step is you register with the Cellular Health Foundation. You ask Jonathan how to do. I don't take care of this technical issue. You register with the foundation. Next step, once you become a member, you submit to the foundation a question to the doctors, question to the experts. You submit exactly that question. You will receive.
I'm putting you
on. You will
on.
receive a highly technical answer, and that's how your question will be answered.
Thank you for coming.
That's the way to go. Because you are not my patient, I am not really authorized to. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at that DNA136.
Yes, but you need because it's a special problem. Will this is recommended? Absolutely, this is recommended anyway. Now, if you want to help yourself also with the smoking, there is some additional protocol that can go with it. But in order to do that, just follow. Ask Jonathan; he will coach you on that.
Yep, it's a website. And in addition to the website, if you can't, for some reason, you're not able to get online for some reason, just use the, you can use the phone. It's a toll-free number, 866-728-8865. Okay? And you can call the number, and the forms, the registration forms can be sent to you by email or by fax or through the mail. Speak to Tracy. You want to get to Tracy. Tracy's direct extension is 1000, okay? So you always want to get to Tracy, 1000. All right, and that's how you can get the forms to get access to them. And we're going to take a few more, 1 or 2 more questions, but it's getting kind of late. Here's the problem. We want to make sure that everyone understands that Dr. Nakouzi is going to be in Atlanta. You know what that means? Does anyone know anyone in the Atlanta area?
Yeah.
Does anyone know anyone else who you wish had heard what Dr. Nakouzi said tonight that could benefit from it? Yeah. So if you know anyone that could benefit, from the lecture, mind you, and obviously he's not going to cover every single thing that he knows. We'd be here for a whole year. But there's going to be information that's going to be presented that you did not hear today. So you're welcome and invited to come to the event in Atlanta.
Are there two?
Take one of these forms.
Still in Conyers also?
Still in Conyers. Okay. But anyone who was here tonight, you take one of these with you, and you do not have to make the $10 payment for pre-registration because you came to one of the events here tonight. Or if you go to the Atlanta Medical Center, and there's going to be a table there. We're just a brief presentation we're doing at the Atlanta Medical Center on Saturday. Even being there, you can also get the registration fee that's waived. Okay, so just take one of these with you and make sure that anyone that you know knows about the event on Sunday. That's the main event. You want to be there and tell everybody that you know to come to that event, okay? I see there was 1 or 2 more questions here, and we're going to have to wrap up.
Okay. I'm going to make this short because I know we're on time. In 2010, I became very severe tired, and talked to Mr. Lewis here. She was telling me about ImmunRx to take that. So I waited a year, so I decided to take ImmunRx because I was so tired, severe tired, I couldn't even get to bed. So, make the story short, yeah, it worked and everything. So I said, well, after a year, I'm going to get off of it. So when I did get off of it, I did get tired again. So now you talking about this year, it's 3 years. So I'm having all these symptoms. I was so severe tired. I thought about quitting my job that I have. I don't be that tired. And I started having acid reflux, and I started being very nauseated in the stomach, and kept always thinking, you know, and that's all type of stuff. And so I said, well, you know, I got to go to the doctor. I got to go find what's wrong. So when I went to my medical doctor, he had ran some tests because I told him on this side, feel like I couldn't breathe, like this side here was just dead. And when I'm in the bed sleeping, my heart just beating and jumping, and don't let me drink a Coke or something with caffeine. You know, it's really be jumping. And so I had got where I really couldn't sleep. So I found out that calcium had built up in my body. I'm producing too much calcium. So a week ago, he put me in the hospital because he said, what you have, it could lead to a stroke. He said, you could stroke out with this. So I stayed in the hospital a week, and my calcium down and everything. So when I went back this past Tuesday, he said, we're back up to a 12. So he told me to go ahead and take this prednisone. I don't know why, but I said, I can't take it because it makes me sick. But I'm still taking it, but at the time it really hadn't made me sick because he said, I gave it to you when you was in the hospital. But he gave it through my arm and everything. So I just want to know.
Keep the microphone near you.
Okay. I just want to know this ImmunRx that I was taking, did it have anything like raising my calcium level up? Because I did take regular calcium too that I had bought from you guys.
Jonathan will answer that.
When it comes to some folks have asked a question about ImmunRx, whether it raises calcium levels. There's a tiny amount of calcium in ImmunRx. If anything, ImmunRx helps take calcium levels down. This protein leaches the calcium. So it in no way contributes to calcium going up. So that would answer your question directly. However, if you want to correct any imbalances, you know, in the body, chemically and biochemically, then your best ticket, of course, again, become a member of the foundation. And DNA136, as you can see, corrects causes, gets to the root of the problem, and retrains the body to produce things in the correct balance. So you could, you know, be a good candidate for getting started on that. But ImmunRx would not have contributed to calcium levels going up.
In other words, if you have a lot of calcium here, it's being held in place high because of all the other toxic elements and other disproportions, unbalanced level of other elements around it, holding it in that place.
Yeah, because he said that my vitamin D was extremely low, so he put me on 50 milligram of not trace, nothing like that.
It's gonna be best for you.
Vitamin D, 50 milligram that I take once a week. Like
it's gonna be best for you to.
He said I'm gonna need it too.
It's going to be best for you to make sure you submit the question, and then we can cover all of that with you, all right? Okay, one more question here, Cheryl.
Oh, right. I had a training. All right. Right now, and I'm on my way for twice a week. And I was wondering what you guys stored out there.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Dr. Nakouzi, if you could turn your microphone.
Yeah, I am going to turn
it
off.
There you go. Dr. Nakouzi, we're trying to... Dorothy?
Sorry?
You're going to have to wait just 1 second, Dorothy, please. Because the lady's trying to ask a question.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I've had a craniotomy. The front left portion, it was done in the 70s, and after
it was done, they let me know that they're not advanced, and to always see like a psychiatrist doctor. However, I'm on metazapine and sertraline. So do I need the whole thing since I'm not clicking right up here?
Okay.
That's a good question too. Can I respond to that? The bottom line there, again, just like with any other situations, if you contact the foundation with all that information, then it would take a little time to analyze it, but we can give you an exact recommendation as to what would be best for you to take. Now,
the DNA.
Oh, the DNA136, understand something. Everybody will benefit from DNA136, either level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, or level 5. Everyone will benefit from that. I take 2 scoops a day myself. It's unbelievable. I have had no health problems, but I won't take less than 2, per day. And I'm amazed at what it does. My sleep pattern has normalized. I don't need nearly as much sleep as I used to. It does amazing things for mental clarity as well. We're finding people with depression, that things are starting to fire properly. Unresolved issues are starting to resolve. People are resting deeper. Things are starting to happen in many ways, and these are things the doctor can't directly say, so he has to be very careful about that.
It's not necessarily serotonin.
It could very well be serotonin, dopamine, or any other of the enzymes that could be chemically off. But what you have to do is get to the cause. See, everything that's being done from the medical system, remember, is treating symptoms and a manifestation of deeper rooted problems. DNA136 helps everyone get to the cause of the problem. So always know that you never go wrong with it, basically. Okay? So listen, folks, we have to wrap up. And
Because you just got 4 minutes left on here.
Okay, excellent. So for those who have been able to stay, we certainly applaud you. And everyone who's here right now, in the room, right now, you're going to be able to get a free 2.5-ounce bottle of the ImmunRx. Totally free. Okay? So you know what that means you have to do? No, we have to identify you. So we need to make sure that you know what I'm going to do? Dorothy, just make sure you give your name to Dorothy. And the foundation is going to give every one of you one free bottle.
Dolores.
Yeah.
I'll give mine to Dolores.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Dolores. Everybody knows. I just got Dorothy on my mind. I'm sorry. DNA136? You can take it, DNA136, you can take it any way you want, but just always have to remember 3 gel caps of the pharma grade cod liver oil. That comes along with it. We have them as a doctor, as a special. Anyone who comes to the doctor conferences, here's the code for you. If you want to get a discount on it, and everyone who's here right now will get free shipping on it. You stay to the end. Everybody who's in the room right now will get free shipping, plus you get a discount. The price is $180 for the 2 together. Right?
The DNA and the cod liver.
Yes, ma'am. DNA and the cod liver oil is $180. You must take them together.
Yeah, it is part of the formula.
It helps the liver to process all those
It doesn't work alone.
Yeah. Okay, so your price, and this is your only shot at it, at getting this price, is going to be $120 for the 2 together.
Can I give you a check?
Okay? We can't take any money now at all, but you work that out with Dolores. She has to have your name right now. And everyone here, you can buy as many as you want at that price for the rest of the month. Everyone who's in the room right now. Okay? $120 for the kit. But everyone also has an additional bonus because you stay to the end. You get the free 2.5-ounce bottle of the ImmunRx. So give yourselves a hand.
Amen.
And thank Dr. Nakouzi.
Thank you. Thank you.
That phenomenal?
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
One other little thing for everyone who's here, you're going to be able to get a copy of the actual lecture. Okay.
Excellent.
So, but you must not make any copies of it. It's only for your personal use, for those who are here.
Solus.
I know you know some girl that
understand something. This code is not set up yet.
Yes.